Hello everybody, I am Dr. Chandrakant Sahu preparing a series of lecture videos on SAP HCM. In this lecture series, I shall deal with both the theoretical and practical aspects of SAP HCM. Hands-on training will be an integral part of this lecture series. So basically this SAP is known as one enterprise resource planning. Each business holds its objectives and goals, procedures and requirements. Most significantly, the current businesses require innovative technologies with complete functions that fill the gap between business processes and intended outcomes. An organization has several departments and teams. In order to run them successfully, there shall be there should be an ERP system that support them by coordinating all the informations and communications within the organizations. An ERP system is a grouping of software and the company's activities carried out to accomplish various operations. An ERP software helps to adjust the entire project value chains and also simplifies the critical processes effectively and efficiently. Presently, SAP ERP is one of the powerful enterprise resource planning systems. SAP stands for Systems, Application and Products in the Data Processing. So basically it is originated in Germany. It is a Germany based company and over the period of time till today it has acknowledged its global presence in more than 160 countries. So till date, if you see, so around 1.6 million customer database it has, and in most of the industries, especially in manufacturing and IT, services and banking, so it is being used for its benefits. So if you are pursuing a course in SAP HCM, what are the role that you are going to play? And the basics understanding that you need to have before pursuing this course. So we as MBA HR, we must have known about the certain concepts like departmental concepts. There are also some departmental sub-departmental concepts. Let us take the case of that HR department. In SAP SAP language, this HR, that HR department or a department is called a module. Okay, so when we discuss about that HR is just a module, and in SAP term, it is HCM, Human Capital Management. Okay. So if you see, there are four areas in human capital management. You will find so general administrations, recruitment, time administrations, and payroll. These are the four areas that we will find in HCM. Okay. So under general administrations, we will find two sub modules once again. Okay, organizational management and personal administrations. Under recruitment, you will find that e-recruitment that is integrated to that SAP and time administrations. Then payroll management. It is what you call the operational area of HR. These things. So there another aspects that we must remember in when we are going to read or study or pursue a course in HCM, we must be very much thorough about the structure. Okay. So structure is always pyramidical. At the top of the people that pyramid, if you see, very people like that president or CEO or board of directors. But at the bottom of the pyramid, if you see, so many people will be working. So it is a pyramidical structures. Okay. So these structures tells about your reporting authorities, reporting response that authority and responsibilities, relationship and reporting activities. It will also tell about. Okay. So if you see in those areas of HR, so if you see at the top, so any that big company, if you see, it depends. Indeed, it varies from that company to company. But if you think of any big company, normally big company has they follow this structures. So at the top, you will find the president, departmental. Okay, so then under that, vice president, maybe two three vice president may be there, then senior manager, general manager, then general managers, then senior managers, then managers, deputy manager, assistant manager, senior executives and executives, senior officers, officers and training. Similarly, if you come to the other module like like FICO module, financial control or sales and distribution module, you will have this that reporting characteristics. If you say reporting relationship, you will get. Okay, so understanding this reporting relationship or organization structure is paramount when we are going to discuss about human capital management module. So suppose you are working as a that SAP consultant, or you are pursuing a course as on SAP HR, and you want to work as a SAP professional. What are the various career prospects that you are going to have? So you have these career prospects. You can see there are four prospects. So you can work as one end users. Who is an end users? End users are basically they are from HR operations. Somebody who is working in the company, okay, and he is using SAP. Okay. So this is the basic things that as an end user, suppose you are working after the course. So if you are working as an end user, that means you have to associate with the company on a role, payroll. Okay, so you have to work on operations. But consultant is something different. Consultant does all the configurations. Per se. Okay. So consultant does all the configurations, because if you see the that operations, when you talk that go for operation SAP that operations, the system has to be customized as per the requirement. Okay. Because suppose manufacturing, we can talk of manufacturing or service, they will have different requirement. Okay, and they might have that operations in different geographical locations. They might have different kinds of department. They might have different processes being followed. So all these have to be that configured by the consultant at the back end. Okay, so consultant interface will be obviously different from an end user, that end user interface. Okay, so another role that a SAP professional can also play, that is called FBAP, that stands for Advanced Business Application Programming. Okay, so this we talk about the configurations, but this is a person who work as above, means he has to code and that program the software, he has to develop it. Okay, so code and program the software. This is the role. This is a little this is technical role actually. So there is another role that is called basis. Basis means it stands for that. Basis means it's he is a person's, the person he work as admin actually. Okay. And he will be responsible for data migrations. And he is a person who execute the transfer request from one server to another server. So here we must also understand at the same time that the various kinds of servers that a SAP professional in working on different role may use. So this is also significant to understand. So let us see. So there are basically, if you see, there are three kinds of servers. So these three kinds of servers, or we can call it as systems, we can call it also landscape. The meaning is same. So this is called, to begin with, development servers, where the software gets developed or the things get configured. Okay. A quality server where testing is done, and production where actually the data is maintained like live data. Okay. So who develops this development? Who are involved in this actually? So basically, if you see this, to that customized. Okay. So who use this? So that to use this development server is used by consultant, that above and basis. Okay. Basically, what is the purpose? The purpose is to develop. Okay. So how do they develop? They don't use real data or live data. Basically, they use dummy data, okay, fake data, okay, because real data will be the company data, okay, and that requires a lot of confidentiality. Therefore, they use some kind of simulated kind of data, okay, and develop the that system, okay, develop system. So when development is done, then there is a need for testing, okay. So this is in this actually, because who will use this a product, because this will be used by the end users. Therefore, in this stage, apart from consultant above and basis, end user is also involved, okay. End user is also involved. The very purpose is testing, okay. So whether it is running as per the requirement or not, okay. So here also at this stage you will find that fake or dummy data is being used. Real data doesn't come or live data doesn't come, okay. So then we'll see basically if you see above, these are the coder and programmers, okay. This is here actually basis. What is the role of basis? Role of basis is data migrations. Migration from that quality server to production servers. Production server is actually used by the end users, okay. So here actually operation takes place. The objective is, the purpose is to maintain data. So what kind of data that it maintains? It maintains the real data or live data, okay. There is also another kind of server is being used uh, at the production, that is also called, that is one kind of server, backup server, that is called backup server, that is also used by end users. So we are not going to discuss that lot, okay. So then, so when implementations come, implementation of SAP, okay, basically you will find certain kind of steps, okay, certain kind of steps, and here that different SAP consultant will play certain kind of role, even if end user has a role to play, even if the project sponsor team has a role to play, okay. So everybody, because it is the collective effort of all the that if you see the that efforts of the developers, even if the consultant, the end users, even if the above, even if the basis, okay. So during the implementation stage, what happens? So everybody gets involved. So to begin with, first step is project preparations. So project preparation involves three activities, okay. So number one, as is the process, okay. So who tells? So this will be given by actually what is the process, exact process. Who will tell? This will be explained by the end users, because end user finally, because he works with the production servers, and finally he is the ultimate user of the system. So what is the process? What is the process being followed in the company? Okay. So end user has to explain this. Not only in explain, that explanation has to come in written and documentary form. Because see, sometimes what happens, there are some technicalities here. So anything that is received from the company through end users, that has to be properly documented and signed, approved by the concerned authorities, because that will that help in audit also, okay. So that is required, because sometimes if over communication, if things that modified or transfer request are entertained, sometimes that may not work out, that will create certain kind of risk. Therefore it is the responsibility of the consultant to ask all the documents that he has to that configure, so in the form of written or documentary format. Then, so this will be basically, as is the process, means what is the process being followed in the company, okay. What is the process being followed in the company? So end user has to explain, okay. End user has to explain. So then gap analysis, the consultant has to explain, what is the gap. Take for example, I would like to state one uh, example. So earlier, if you see that, take the case of maternity leave. Maternity leave earlier it was, as per the act, it was 3 months. So something in January, I think January 2021, it has been 6 months now. So if that is the practice, in like 3 months practice, maternity leave practice is there in the company. Okay, so here the consultant role is to educate, is to tell the company, no, this is not the fact. Fact is something different. Like it is 6 months. Okay, and that has to be rectified, and that correction has to be rectified through, what that can be done through a transfer request. Okay, that can be also done. And then, after finding the gap, okay, who explores the gap? The consultant. It is the responsibility of the consultant to tell the gap to the end users, to the company, to the client, and bring about the changes through transfer request. Okay, and this transfer request, that actually it is a number generated by the systems. Okay, we will see how it is generated also in subsequent that lectures. Okay, then, after gap analysis is done, okay, so then reconfirmation by the project team. Okay, once again, this project team means the project sponsor teams. Okay, project sponsor teams from the clients, they have to reconfirm. Okay, now it is okay. So that reconfirmation has to also come in written form. Okay. So then second stage is BBP. This BBP is very significant. This is called business blueprinting. Okay. So after listening, after getting all the documents from the project teams, getting reconfirmations from the project team, now he has to prepare a in documentary format. He has to design on paper how the configurations will look like in SAP. Okay, how the configurations will look like in SAP. Okay, so after that, and next step is realizations. Who does this? Consultant does it. So this, what we are talking about, that how they do work in development server, quality server, production servers, we have discussed in the previous slides. So basically, so consultant above and basis, they will use the development servers. Okay, and they will start configurations. Okay, that can give a real feel. So then final preparations. So once again, it is also that all four, like consultant, above, above basis, and end users, they will do the quality server. That is the purpose of testing. Okay, they will do the testing activities. Then they will go for go live or support. This is the final stage. So basically here what happens? So end users now will use the production servers. He has to update, he has to replace all the fake data with the real data. Okay, production server, it is actually, this will happen to update the real data for all the employees, or whatever requirement is required for the company. So he has to put all the real data. Okay, so here the role of the basis just to move the transfer request and migrate the data from quality server to production server. Okay. So basically, if you see, like before going to the next steps, we will also would like to that know the what is master data. Okay, HR master data. We must also know this. So master data, it is earlier it was basically, you can talk about that HRIS, Human Resource Information System, but this is in SAP. How does it look? So standard SAP master data will have so many things. A few of the things that few of the that elements I have just put here, like name of the employees, employee ID, first name, middle name, last name, date of joining, date of birth, reporting manager names in organization structure. Okay, salary breakup, take for example, address, shift timing if the person is working in shift. Okay, what is the shift timing, leave record, so many things actually. But as a consultant, the consultant has to ask Okay, some other informations, okay, like business require documents. Okay, so as we are discussing that when there is and the documentations in from that before working with the development servers, so end users must provide the consultant, and the consultant must receive from the end users the request, transfer request through BRD, but business requirement documents. Okay, there are two aspects here, like functional specifications and technical specifications. They should talk that they deal with. So this functional specification, like that we are talking about, like configurations we are talking about, this is done by consultant, whereas this technical specification is done by above, like coding, like programming. All this is the so it is TR form, transfer request form, BRD, business requirement documents, plus technical specification, all approvals together needs to be handed over to the basis team for movement of basis, because basis will work on data transfer, okay, data migrations from quality server. So these once these all these things are handed over to the basis team will that migrate the data from quality server to productions server. So this is a standard BRD. Okay, you can see this is change request number. This is change request number, request date. Okay, change requester who has done that employee number. Okay, type of change, it is customizations. You can see change request approver. Okay, so department who has approved it, department, human resources, so designations. Okay, so these are things. Purpose to add personal area and personal sub area, position based long and short text. So this is just a format. Okay, so testing and remark for testing, all these things. Okay, so these are, you can see this is important because the people who this the team has to approve all these things. Okay, for expressions. So this is for today. Okay, in this lecture video we will discuss about different kinds of structure in the next video.